someone come hold this and just hold the button? Well, I think I started riding in 2017, and like on my first bike, I started throwing angle sets and like long forks on it. Needed to improve it. Yeah, so kind of always trying to make my bike better to go faster. When I started breaking bikes, and I couldn't afford the bike I would want, and then I didn't even really want it because there's always things I would have wanted to change. Yeah, when I actually broke it, that's when I like fully committed. Like, I'm gonna actually ride my homemade bike full time. Don't film this.
Have you ever welded a bike before? Or
Yeah, I've welded 2 bike frames before. I took a frame building class in May, and then after that, I welded 2 bike frames that week in the 5 days I was there. I like this one a lot. I don't know why. That's what's most consistent what I do at work, so that's what made it easy.
This is the hardest part of the build, is just aligning stuff. Like on the front triangle, making sure stuff is straight.
When I walked in and there was a jig and you're like, this is how I do it, I was like, okay, I'm glad you're able to tell me because I don't know what I'm doing. Like, I just weld.
This is a really tight area.
Yeah.
Like for the link coming through and also clearing the wheel. You can go ham on both sides now.
Okay.
Yeah, keep it in the jig as long as you can.
Okay, I can weld these.
Yeah, like,
And
yeah.
that's about it.
And then we'll pull it
And
apart.
then,
you
like,
can
I
do each
weld,
half
I
separate.
can weld these.
Yeah, stuff like that.
Okay. I'll try my best.
Damn. I don't think you realize how stressful that is the whole time.
Yeah, perfect.
So what are you looking for out of this bike? What were you riding before?
Let's not talk about that.
What were you riding before?
Let's not talk about.
Why?
What were you looking for when you made this bike?
I don't know.
I'm looking for the best bike in the world, Liam.
So I technically brought it to Sea Otter before I'd even ridden it. Like I was trying to get some deals on some parts. That was the goal. But then I think then the next week I went out and rode it, but I was still waiting on a different link. It was pushing the stress limits, and it's a pretty chill shuttle spot up and slow. I was stoked when it made it down the first time. Like it's a pretty chilled trail. But yeah, I made it down the first time. Like we had like 5 more runs. Everyone like in my car was stoked because the bike was working, and it was working pretty well. I started pushing it more, and I did a jump, and then my feet went to the ground, and my chainring stuck in the ground because the link broke, and I went straight over the bars, and yeah, I broke both links, and I think I broke my seat and my chainring. Well, the thing is, the first ones got way more attention than the ones I'm building now because the first ones were a little more obvious they were homemade. Some big old booger welds. Yeah. Huh?
That's a nice way to say my welds suck.
Yeah. They asked for a name of the bike, and it was called the Snot Rocket because of my booger welds. That was the first big amount of attention I've got. But yeah, whenever I'm at the bike park, people are stoked. They're always asking questions, which is cool. Like I'm always down to answer any questions people have. It's pretty stressful. Like the whole time, like if I make a mistake, it's really hard to like, if it was a major mistake, you can't really fix it. And you'd either have to restart or like completely destroy and sand off and hopefully salvage a part. It's definitely a measure twice, cut once, or weld once type of activity. I was very stoked to see everything was clearing, everything was straight. Yeah, just everything fit properly, like all my clearances, all my spacers, everything was like as I wanted, and I was stoked. So I planned the amount of shims I have, and it is what is in the model.
That should be
Very slight amount of hand trimming left.
good.
It's awesome. Like, I was stoked to see it performing well. Owen seemed stoked on how it was performing also. I think he's excited to get it even more dialed in.
I don't know what else we can do, really. We'll have to ride at more trails. That's the other thing, is tuning it for certain trails and riding the trails that are going to be similar to races in the summer. So we're going to race North American Enduro Cup at the beginning of June, and then the Psychosis downhill race in Golden, BC after that. And then probably come back to California, see if we need to work on it at all before Crankworks at the end of July. Please ask some good questions. Can you give me a frame of reference?